In this video, we got another episode of this series where I rate and improve your guys' teams. You guys will send me your teams on Twitter at X7Tanaka, and I'll put out a tweet maybe every couple of days, every 2 to 3 days, asking for squads on Twitter, and then you guys will reply down below underneath that tweet with your squad and how much MT you guys have, and you have a chance to be featured in one of these videos, just like everybody did to be featured in this video. But if you guys want to comment your teams and MT amount down below, feel free to go ahead and do so, and I'll try to go through as many comments as possible and give you guys my best suggestions to help upgrade your squad. But looking at the first team here, coming in from Sean, he's got 400,000 MT, and he says he hasn't really played Season 8 yet, so imagine there could be some few upgrades. I mean, definitely, yeah, for this type of squad, I would say there is a few upgrades you can definitely make right off the bat. For the rating out of 10, I would give it like a 8 out of 10. It's a good team, it's just nothing crazy. Could definitely use a lot of upgrades for this squad. The cards I would keep, I mean, 400k really depends, you know, how much MT you want to spend on this type of team. I would probably go interdimensional Luka coming off the bench with Amen Thompson starting. For your backup shooting guard position, I would get Radiant T-Mac to start and then have AK off the bench to pair alongside Luka, because I think that's an amazing backcourt. So your starting backcourt will be Amen Thompson and Radiant T-Mac. That Radiant T-Mac card's only about 25 to 30k, and then off the bench you go interdimensional Luka Doncic and you go AK-47. For your two small forward positions, I would go KG and Big Z for your two small forwards. For your two power forwards, I like Jack Sigma and I like Jokic. You can maybe keep Jokic. It depends how much MT you want to spend. I would probably recommend Victor Wembanyama and Taco Fall as your two power forwards. Once again, if you're looking to spend majority of your MT. And then for center and for your two center positions, I'd probably move Mark Eden to the bench and then get either Galaxiopol or Dark Matter Yao Ming to play your starting center position. So your 10-man rotation will be Amen Thompson, Luka, Radiant T-Mac, AK, KG, and Big Z. Two power forwards will be... Who are the two power forwards? Oh yeah, Victor Wembanyama, Taco, and then your two centers will be Dark Matter Yao Ming and Dark Matter Mark Eden. That's probably the best team you can build, or one of the best teams you can build with 400,000 MT, and I think that squad is a whole lot better. Now looking at the next team here, coming in from Richard, he's got about 200,000 MT left and debating whether to sell Eden and Cam. So Cam, I mean, you can sell. I don't think he's going to be on this final team. With 200,000 MT, the squad I would probably build is move Curry to the bench. If you want to use Curry because he's a fun point guard, then I would play him as your backup point guard. For starting point guard, I would either get Amen Thompson or Luka Doncic. And since Amen Thompson is cheaper and maybe even a little bit better and does more for you on the court, I would probably go Amen Thompson as your starting point guard. For your two shooting guards, I like Terry Dischinger. I would have him coming off the bench and start Radiant T-Mac. So your two backcourts can be Amen Thompson, T-Mac, and then your backcourt off the bench could be Curry and Terry Dischinger if you still like running that backcourt. And then for your two small forward positions, obviously I have Victor Wembanyama as your starting small forward. For the backup small forward position, I would probably go like a KG potentially, a Big Z, a Jarris Walker, a Karl Malone. Let's just say you go Big Z, right? So Big Z, Victor, gonna be your two small forwards. Your two power forwards, I would start Bill Russell at the power forward position, and then off the bench, I would try to get Taco Fall. You should be able to get Taco Fall. And then for your other center position, if you can try to get a Yao Ming, go ahead and do so. If not, maybe just settle for a Ralph Sampson, because Ralph Sampson's about 40k. Him and Mark Eden can be your two centers, right? And then your two power forwards is Bill Russell and let's say Taco or Victor Wembanyama. So that's about 70,000 MT. So that's 110,000 MT spent. KG is another like 30k, so 140,000. And then T-Mac is about, you know, 30k, 25k, so that's about 170, and then getting Amen Thompson. So that should be in your price range, and that's the team that I would build for your squad. Rating out of 10, I don't think I gave it, but before the suggestions and the upgrades to your squad, I would say this team is maybe a 7 out of 10, 6.57, somewhere in that range. Looking at the next team though, coming in from flexingknight, he's got about 500,000 MT to work with and a pretty good squad. I would say altogether maybe like an 8.5. It's still a pretty decent team. I think you could use a big upgrade with your bigs. Your backcourt I think is good. I mean, you need a better backup point guard than MJ in my opinion, so I'd either go Amen Thompson, probably just Amen Thompson. I don't think you really need to spend too much. You already got Luka. I mean, out of position Jokic is probably the card I would go with for this squad. So I get out of position Jokic to start at point guard and then have Luka coming off the bench. I would maybe swap the two and go T-Mac next to Jokic and then have Kawhi coming off the bench. That's what I would do. just so the pairing is a little bit better. You get to keep that backcourt of Luka and Kawhi off the bench, which I think is really good. And then starting lineup would be out of position Jokic, Radiant T-Mac, Paolo Banchero. For your power forward position, I'd probably get Victor Wembanyama, only about 80,000 MT, maybe even a little bit lower. And then I would get Mark Eden for starting center and move Ralph Sampson to your backup center position and slide Artis Gilmore to your backup power forward. And then all you need is a backup small forward, or you can just run Jason Tatum there. So your 10-man rotation could be out of position Jokic, Luka Doncic, T-Mac, Kawhi, Paolo Banchero, Tatum, and then let's say Victor Wembanyama, Artis Gilmore, Mark Eden, and Ralph Sampson. And I do think that's a really good 10-man rotation, a lot better than you currently have. Looking at the next squad here, coming in from, I don't know is his name, I guess, 680,000 MT to work with. For this squad rating out of 10, probably like another 8 to 8.5. It's a decent team. With that much MT, you can definitely make a big upgrade, can make some pretty big upgrades with this type of team. So for your 2 point guard position, I'd move Amen Thompson to the backup point guard and go for the out of position Jokic for about 50k as your starting PG. For your 2 shooting guards, I like Kevin Durant. I'd probably look to get either a Tim Thomas or a Radiant T-Mac to play backup shooting guard, so that can be your backcourt settled. And then for your 2 small forward positions, I would go for Bull, the interdimensional version. You can actually get him for under 100k, so I would get the interdimensional Bull for starting small forward. Backup small forward, once again, I'd probably go like Kevin Garnett. You could go Paolo Banchero if you wanted to, just for another endgame card. So those would be my 2 small forwards. 2 power forwards, I move Artis Gilmore to the backup 4 and get either Taco Fall or Victor Wembanyama to play that starting power forward position. Move Mark Eden to the backup 5 and then go ahead and get a Gally Supple or Dark Matter Yao Ming to play your starting center position. That's what I do for your squad to help upgrade the team. Looking at the next squad here, coming in from James, he's got 300,000 MT to work with and is willing to sell anybody. So for this squad rating, maybe like another 8.5. maybe 9 out of 10. You got endgame Kevin Durant, you got Taco Fall, a really good base team to work with. Once again, I think that out of position Jokic is one of the best value cards in the game, so I'd have him starting over Scottie Barnes, and then I have Amen Thompson or Scottie Barnes as your backup point guard, depending who you like more. And then Kevin Durant, once again, amazing starting shooting guard, but I feel like getting Radiant T-Mac, most people should get, right? Radiant T-Mac or Tim Thomas for only about 30,000 MT is such good value, so I'd have them as your backup shooting guard. For this team, you could honestly go ahead and get Bull. He's about 90k, 100,000 MT, and then just move AK to your backup small forward position. For your backup power forward position, I go Victor Wembanyama, and then for your 2 centers, I think you're perfectly fine. So let's say your team was out of position Jokic, Scottie Barnes, Kevin Durant, T-Mac or Tim Thomas for backup shooting guard, Bull, AK, Taco Fall, Wembanyama, and then you got Mark Eden and Ralph Sampson, and I think your team does become a whole lot better. Looking at the next squad here, coming in from your boy Liz, or I'm not sure how to say that, but anyways, looking at the team, he's got 130,000 MT to work with. He says he moved Scottie to the bench and put endgame Curry in the starting lineup, also got endgame KD in the starting lineup, and moved Grady Dick to the bench. So I mean, I guess you just want to use Curry because you're a big Curry fan or you like using the Curry card, and that's perfectly cool, so I'll keep him as your starting point guard. I'd maybe look to get like Amen Thompson over Scottie Barnes. I do think that's a pretty decent upgrade, you know, for your backup point guard position, but Scottie's good enough that you can keep him there. You got KD. Once again, I'd probably look to get Radiant T-Mac or Tim Thomas to play your backup shooting guard position, but then your backcourt is good to go. For your 2 small forwards, I'd probably go after Kevin Garnett and then either keep Zion or James Worthy. For your 2 power forwards, I don't know if you have enough. I think you have enough MT to get one of the good power forwards, either Taco Fall or Victor Wembanyama. So I'd get them and start them next to get Victor, for example, Victor Wembanyama, start him next to Mark Eden, and then off the bench, go Jokic, and then go ahead and get Ralph Sampson. If you can't afford that, I'd maybe look for like Dark Matter Kristaps, the 16-bit version. He can be a really good power forward instead of Victor Wembanyama, and that should save you some MT. So then your 10-man rotation, just to make it a little bit more simple, would be endgame Curry, Scottie Barnes, Kevin Durant, and let's say Tim Thomas. Small forwards, let's go Kevin Garnett and Zion Williamson. Power forwards, let's say you want to go a little bit cheaper, Dark Matter Kristaps and Nikola Jokic, and then your 2 centers would be Mark Eden and Ralph Sampson, and that's what I do to upgrade your squad. And then guys, looking at the last team here of the video, coming in from my boy George, he's got 700,000 MT to spend. He got very lucky, he says, packing Luka, and he sold for 400k. So for this team, a really good squad to start off with. I would say 9 to 9.5, a really good looking team. The only suggestions I can really make is for your bench. I think your starting lineup is pretty much good to go if you want to keep, once again, Curry in your lineup. Your backcourt, I think, is good off the bench. You can maybe get T-Mac or Tim Thomas to play over Terry Dischinger, but Terry's still amazing. I would just get Bull. Whether you want to start Bull or have him coming off the bench, that's like the one big upgrade I'd make. And then for your backup power forward position, once again, either getting Taco Fall or Victor Wembanyama, I do think is a massive upgrade over Nikola Jokic. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for another episode of this series where I rate and improve your guys' team. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.